Tanzania is a developing country. Just imagine, we need to incur costs in hospitals, we need to incur costs in various sectors of the country, and we still want to start from scratch. While we have something potential, which when strengthened will ensure productivity to the maximum full best. Also, they say that if some things will be seen good, then we won't change. They're supporting us. We are saying that there are things which are good, that's why we're not going to change. So if they acknowledge the fact that there are things that are good and they're not going to change, it means that they're supporting our side. Also, they're saying that there is a problem in the entire system. Dear judges, look at this. It's the agriculture book. That is to say that the curriculum is trying to diversify the field that a person can study. There is no problem in the entire system. This is because the government has tried its best to ensure that in the fields that there were not enough books, there were not enough expertise, they have improved. That's why we see a good example of agriculture. So it means that a student can be able to learn and understand what is being taught and apply what they are being taught in class. That is, it is not going to end in class, but it's going to be applied outside class. Also, they say that there are no books of Historia, Tanzania, Maadili, and computer study. So they want to tell us they study from the blue. What do teachers use to teach? They use books, so please do not lie. They also say that about 40% of pregnancy has increased. From what source? What have you seen to assure us that that is true? We cannot take it. Also, they say that we'll waste much resources. But much resources will be wasted if we start from the scratch. But we're not going to waste much resources because we're going to start from where we are. We're going to strengthen the things that we have to make a better place that everyone could be able to sustain. Coming back to rebuilding our points that were mentioned by my previous speakers, starting with the first point, that is integrating 21st century schools. It is true. Starting from the civics knowledge and also the subjects that have been added, they have integrated the 21st century skills that were well explained by my deputy. That is entrepreneurship, literacy, technology, innovation, critical thinking, and creative thinking. Also, it is promising. Look at the fields that are being improved. It seems that after some time, if they are being kept much emphasis on them, they will come up and bring some development in our country. Look at IST, coding, computer studies, and PCM. It's very promising that after some 10 years, our country will be somewhere that which was never expected before. Also, we said about inclusivity. According to the TAMISEMI report, which was explained by my deputy opposition leader, that Professor Mkena explained very well that this is very inclusive. That is, it will include those people who are dropped out from school, who are pregnant, and now can study very well. Also the disabled people, also even the old people now can even get education. That is, we see the school, Shule ya Msingi ya Mtangi U in Twara, which supports the special groups. And with this, I would like to reaffirm our stand that we believe that there is no need of any kind of overhauling of the current curriculum and education system because it encompasses all our current educational needs. And with that, I rest my case.
The House stands the third proposer for that final speech, and now welcomes the last speaker on the opposition side, the opposition line. Here.
I begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Honorable educators, my worthy opposition proposition, greetings once more. I'm here to give a reply speech concerning why our side as the opposition won. But before that, I would like to pose a very funny question to the proposition side. They say they don't have books for computer science. But then, how did you study computer science without books? To begin with this, the burden on the government side was to define the motion where they failed miserably. We clearly, as the opposition, defined on the current need of the new revised education system that was from 2014 and it is now implemented in 2025. But we completely explain what's the meaning of completely overhaul, which means you break down the system and actually start rebuilding from scratch, which is very much expensive. They came to restructure the whole system, as they say, but the system is already restructured. So why do we need to restructure it again while we have already filled in the loopholes? Don't you see we're wasting resources? But also, they came and put emphasis on exams, that we do exams and they're inefficient, but then how will you evaluate if your system is education system is sustainable. It covers the 21st century skills, technology, and entrepreneurship skill, and we have enough infrastructure as how we had seen our government supporting the people from the rural and both urban, providing the school infrastructure such as enough textbooks, as how my deputy came and show you proof, real and vivid proof of the textbooks, desks, and all other infrastructures. We have also seen that our new curriculum is inclusive because it has included people who are both rich and poor, but also young girls, but also the disabled people. We had challenged them on how they'll get the funds, but they never answered on how they'll tackle this economic burden they're going to impose on a country such as Tanzania, which is developing. So they never actually mentioned that. But to finish, it looks like our proposition side did not clearly revise the new curriculum. They did not clearly understand what we were talking about, new or current education systems. They were focused on past matters in the 1960s and 1970s, while the government of Tanzania had clearly revised a new education system that is implemented early 2025 this year, and we're still proving it to be effective. We redesign what has already been effective. Why should we do that? So I welcome all of you to the opposition side because we are effective, sustainable, and inclusive. I rest my case.
The House thanks the opposition reply speaker for that speech and welcomes the last speaker of this House, the reply from opposition. Here.
I'll be beginning in 3, 2, and 1. So the great question of the opposition side is where we will get the fund. Let me tell you, the fund that they are wasting on bringing educational reform each year is the same fund that you are going to use to bring change in the educational system. This is the same fund we are going to completely overhaul the educational system in Tanzania so as we can bring sustainability. And also, the other side will not understand what we mean by completely overhaul. When in our side, we did not mean that we are going to completely remove the educational system. As we say that we are going to take the good ones and eradicating the bad ones. For their side, they think that the current educational system in Tanzania is effective. But let me tell you, the educational system in Tanzania is not effective. That is why we want to restructure it. Restructuring it does not mean that we are going to completely remove it. We are going to restructure it by removing the bad one and bringing the good one so as we can bring development in this country of ours. And also, they spoke of their main point was they were asking what's the difference between overhauling and the current our system of overhauling and their current system. The thing is, there is no 50-50. They are doing exams based on what teachers are teaching. But for us, we are going to have a continuous assessment in the exams that you are going to bring with the overhaul system. And also, they are sticking on the current educational system. That is, the current educational system has different challenges. We spoke of outdated curriculum, standardized testing, and also failure to prepare students for the demand of modern workforces. will show the effectiveness, sustainability, and the impact part of overhauling the educational system. But they are saying, they are telling us the current educational system is highly efficient, sustainable, and important, and has impact on our society. But that isn't the truth. The current system of Tanzania is not yet effective to bring competence and effectiveness in Tanzania. And for this, I rest my case.
The House thanks the proposition reply speaker for that fine speech. We thank you all for an amazing speech. May we hear a round of applause for the proposers? May we hear